Hey everybody, it's Philippa here from Chris and Philly Functional Medicine, and I'm super passionate about helping high achieving parents, especially mamas, to end their body burnout. Goodbye fatigue, anxiety, and gut issues. And hello, healthy mama. So today I wanted to talk about an issue that I know a lot of women, people in general, also struggle with, and that is emotional eating. And I want to talk about the top 5 imbalances that can cause or lead to issues with food. So, as you probably know, it's 17 days until Christmas. I think probably depending on when you're watching this, it may change. And let's be honest, one of the best things about it is the food. I love Christmas. I love Christmas feasts, and I love spending time with my family and making yummy food. And you probably agree with me. Maybe, hopefully. Now, for many people, Christmas feasts they're looked forward to with a lot of joy and excitement. But I know a lot of moms and women we work with, and many others out there, are also quietly getting anxious about blowing up all their healthy eating intentions during this Christmas season. And if we're honest, it's not just around Christmas time. Battling with emotional eating and food addictions, binge eating, starvation, feelings of shame and guilt around the food choices, feeling body hatred, and even having OCD, anxiety over healthy eating is a constant battle for men and women, not just at Christmas time, but also all year round. If this is you, I see you. I wanted to to do this video especially for you right now, to give you a more insight and understanding and more compassion about your beautiful self, especially leading up to Christmas, when it should be a time to be jolly, not riddled with anxiety and guilt. And if you're watching this, stay tuned for the end of the video. I'll pop it in the comments below too. But we are actually going to be holding a live free web class in a couple of weeks' time, maybe even next week, getting my dates all mixed up, which will help you with emotional eating. And that will be live with both myself and Chris, and we're super excited to do this. So emotional eating, it's not just psychology, but it's also physiology. Emotional eating is, just to put some context into this, it's incredibly common. One survey showed that 83% of Australians who struggle with their weight emotionally eat. Another study also showed that 27% of adults say they eat to manage stress, and 34% of those who report overeating or eating healthy foods state that they stress eat out of habit. And for some people, emotional eating, stress is a massive part of it. But I've worked with many people they're like, I emotionally eat when I'm happy or I'm bored or I'm excited, and when I'm stressed and sad and lonely, so it can come into so many different aspects of how you think and you feel. Historically, emotional eating, food addictions, eating disorders have sat in the realm of psychology, meaning that a lot of people, therapists, psychologists, think that your eating patterns come back from your behaviors and the way that you think and feel and the way you were brought up and the relationship you have with food. It's very cultural, all that sort of stuff. Historically, many people have also argued that it also comes back to a lack of willpower and motivation. And while I agree that all of these things do influence eating patterns, and in fact, it's something that we unravel with our clients in our root cause membership because it's such a big part of eating, psychology or mindset is not the only influence. And this is what I wanted this video to be focused on, to go beyond just psychology and mindset and look at some of the things or physiological imbalances or body systems that have burnt out, which can actually affect the way that you eat, and sometimes for some people in a really major way. So this is something that many people miss when they are trying to create healthy eating habits, even many therapists and coaches don't truly understand the way physical imbalances in your body can sabotage even the best healthy eating intentions. So I wanted to show you five or tell you about five different body imbalances I have seen clinically in my practice that cause emotional eating. And when we've actually addressed those imbalances, holy moly, eating patterns just can completely change. So the first one is sex hormone imbalances. So let's start off with an easy one because I'm sure many women can agree that their eating habits go pear-shaped leading up to and or during their period. Sugar cravings, carb munchies, salivating, fatty and salty foods and crunchy stuff. Ladies, am I right or am I right? PMS binge eating is not, and I repeat, not normal. It is a sign that your sex hormones are imbalanced. And this is really important to understand because a lot of people, women and men, think that PMS is just, and it's normal to feel crabby, emotional, fatigued, hungry, craving sugar, chocolate, all the things leading up to your period, but it's not normal. It's a sign that you've got some sort of an imbalance. Either you're producing too much or too little estrogen or progesterone. Maybe you're producing too much or too little of the sex hormones at the wrong time, or the ratio between the two are really off. So until your burnt out, whacked out cycle is balanced, you may lose control of your eating patterns every single month. And for some people, that can be your week leading up to the period and the week of the period. So it ends up being half of a woman's life. We recently saw this with one of our clients. So she was literally scoffing down a block of chocolate every day leading up to her period, out of control eating, even like she knew that this was not right. And clearing up her estrogen excess really did wonders. And now she is able to make healthy, conscious, and loving food choices all through her cycle. It's awesome. The second imbalance that I see that leads to emotional eating is stress hormone imbalances. And here we are again, hormones. Again, hello, hormones. They really can make us feel cray-cray and out of control if they are burnt out and acting dysfunctionally. So stress hormone imbalance occurs when cortisol and DHEA, your stress hormones, are depleted or out of ratio. And this is what I will this is what I call adrenal fatigue. It can absolutely affect eating patterns because of the way cortisol interacts with blood sugar levels. So anytime cortisol is acting dysfunctionally, it can cause a sharp rise and then a big drop or fall of your blood sugar levels. And this can lead to things like sugar cravings and carb cravings. And people in adrenal fatigue often crave salt as well because their body is in a state of inflammation and catabolic damage, and it's literally burning through the minerals in your body, leading to, wanting to crave salt because it's needed to replenish this thing that is disappearing. Often in adrenal fatigue, there are a lot of energy issues as well, and people can see this throughout the day, having an energy crash, often in the mid-afternoon or even at nighttime. And this is when people can reach out to sugar and things like caffeine as a pick-me-up to try and help sustain their energy levels. So this is definitely my case. Prior to restoring my adrenal function, I was always craving sugar, especially in times of stress or when I felt really depleted after a really bad night's sleep, which was happening a lot. Third issue is Candida overgrowth. So let's chat about microbial pathogens. Candida is, if you haven't heard of it, it's a fungal microbe, and it is part of your normal flora in small amounts. It's very healthy and normal, but it is, however, what I call an opportunistic microbe, which means it can overgrow really quickly when given the right environment. And Candida loves sugar, it loves starchy carbs and gluten and alcohol. And when Candida has taken over your microbiome, it literally starts sending signals up to your brain: eat more sugar, eat more sugar, or eat more sugar. Because this is the type of food that it thrives on, and it wants to thrive and live and overtake your body. A few years back, I had a client who tried so hard to eat healthy, like for years and years and years she was trying, yet by the end of the week, she couldn't resist the call for sugar and carbs any longer, and she would literally eat a week's worth of calories in the one day. So she came to me for that reason, for a few other health issues as well, and we detected in her stool test that she had a Candida overgrowth. And literally within 3 days of treating her Candida, yes, just 3 days, she felt her brain fog lift And she experienced for the first time in her life complete control over what she ate. It truly was amazing, and it literally felt like a miracle to her. Like, these things in our body can really affect our relationship with the food. I think we're up to fourth. Fourth imbalance that I see is dopamine deficiency. So dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is all about energy and joy and creativity and motivation. And when your dopamine is low, it can absolutely affect your motivation to stick to healthy eating goals. So low dopamine has also been associated with addictive type tendencies, including full-blown OCD. And it's often, or something that I often see, that is linked to food addictions. One mama that we worked with in the past had been struggling with, binge eating and to the extreme of bulimia for 15, 20 years of her life. And she thought it was just her and that she couldn't change. But when we addressed her low dopamine, her obsessive eating pattern slowly started disappearing. Like, this stuff can be life-changing. And the last thing that I wanted to mention that I see time and time again clinically is vitamin B deficiency, especially B6, B12, and folate issues. So if there was just one little supplement I just love to bits, it would be vitamin Bs, because they truly affect everything in your body, especially your mental health. Now, I had a client who had addictive patterns run in her family, and for her, it was emotional eating when she felt stressed and anxious, which was happening really regularly when we first started working with each other. So, we did all her labs and she had a few imbalances going on, but one thing that made a really big difference to her mental health and her eating patterns was restoring her vitamin Bs. Interestingly, now this is so interesting, that her mom also recovered from alcoholism when she restored her very deficient vitamin Bs. What the heck? So imagine if her ancestors who had struggled with addictions, and a lot of it was to do with alcoholism, which really ruined a lot of lives. Imagine if they had had functional medicine back then and all their addictive behaviors could have been solved by just restoring their vitamin Bs. Craziness. So if you found this interesting, if this is like, holy smokes, I've never looked into any of these areas before, I would love to invite you to join our it's a live web class all about emotional eating, and it's also free, which is always nice. So if you've tried to establish healthy eating patterns, but you just keep failing, there may be some serious imbalances in your body that are affecting your food choices. So ending your body burnout is a crucial step in gaining control of your eating habits, your health, your life, and essentially your happiness. And also so that you can pass on beautiful eating habits to your children, which can continue on for generations. So if you'd like to dive deeper into the imbalances in your body that lead to emotional eating, we'd love to give to our community this Christmas season a special live imbalances in your body that lead to emotional eating web class. And we'd love you to join us live to get the most value out of this. When we hold live web classes, we really aim to make them very interactive and very valuable to the people who are on there live. But I always get the question, will there be a recording? And yes, we will have a recording for this web class for registrants who can't make the time. So go to the link and you will find a link to take you in this video to take you to register for the live web class. Hopefully we'll see you there. If not, have a beautiful and joyful Christmas. And you know what? Enjoy all the food. Enjoy it. Love it. Make better choices, but love the choice that you make.